Hi, welcome to our group project presentation of NeuroMatch Academy 2020. We belong to pod 15 Jolly Mastodons and our project group name is EinSteinII. Our project topic is investigating the functional connectivity of the mouse visual pathway. We were a team of 4 people consisting of Takateru Yamaguchi from Japan, Anahita Ganveri from Australia, Isabella Orlando from Australia, and me myself Tamugna Ghosh from India. So in our project, we use the Steinman's dataset and neuropixel firing rate recordings. There were 16 visual stimuli conditions. We already know the retinal ganglion cell project 2 and synapse in the lateral geniculate nucleus and afferents project to the primary visual cortex. So our hypothesis was stimulus invoked activity in the LGN causes correlated firing response in V1.
So, in order to test our hypothesis, we carried out a range of correlational analyses. First, we identified whether a stimulus-evoked response was present within the LGN and the V1 to the visual cues. In the Steinmetz dataset, there were 4 levels of contrast on the left and 4 levels of contrast on the right, meaning that there were 16 possible combinations of visual stimuli. And we found that the firing rates of the neurons in the LGN and the V1 were evoked by the stimuli. After this, we decided to look at ways of showing the feed-forward connection between the LGN and the V1. From anatomy and literature, we knew that the stimulus-evoked response should be slightly more delayed in the V1 compared to the LGN. To test this theory of functional connectivity, we took combinations of random single neuron activities in the LGN and the V1, and we cross-correlated them. We then took the mean of all of these activities under all 16 visual conditions and found a mean latency of approximately 45 milliseconds. This correlational lag supports our idea of connectivity. Then we decided to set a control by time shuffling the neuron activities in the LGN and cross-correlating them to the unshuffled V1 neurons, and then vice versa. When we ran t-tests of the latencies found against the mean latency previously found, we found significant differences. So this supports our hypothesis that in response to the visual stimuli, a delay exists between the LGN firing activity and the V1 firing.
In conclusion, even if this is just correlation, lagged correlation between LGN and V1 shows signs of causality between them. In addition to cross-correlation, we performed 2 exploratory analyses. The first one is the Poisson Glm. Specifically, we constructed 2 kinds of GLMs. The forward GLM, which matches what we know about the direction of the visual pathway, and the backward GLM, which goes the opposite way. We found out that the forward GLM kernel has a lagged peak at around 40 milliseconds, which matches the latency we found in the cross-correlation analysis. However, this lagged peak does not exist for the backward GLM. The second method we tried was the dynamic causal modeling. We don't have clear results for this, but the basic idea is to use visual stimuli as something that can modulate the connectivity between LGN and V1. In the future, using these methods on a rich neuropixels data can help us understand not only the visual pathway, but also the dynamic connectivity between different brain areas.
Now, there were a lot of things that we enjoyed at NeuroMatch Academy, some of them being the fact that we were able to collaborate with the members of our pod from across the world and meet people globally that otherwise we wouldn't have had a chance to meet, including our TAs and mentors. We really enjoyed being able to apply the skills that we were learning to the data sets provided, and the outro videos really gave us great examples of how these techniques can be applied. On the downside, there was just sometimes too much content to cover, combined with the fact that we were sitting behind a computer screen for many hours a day, back to back for 3 weeks. It just got a bit too much at times, but hey, that's what comes with doing a summer school intensive course in the middle of a pandemic. And it all ended up being fun in the end. So that's all from us, and we just wanted to give a really big shout out and thank our TA Danilo and our mentor Professor Boris Gutkin and everyone else at NeuroMatch Academy headquarters for organizing what was a great 3 weeks for all of us. Thank you.